So, guess what arrived today? I was in touch with somebody local and about this. I'm just moving my lead. I'm trying to charge my phone up. It's damaging the battery because every time I charge it up, it gets discharged again by these Streamlabs. Look what I got. It wants cleaning up. Obviously, it's a bit dirty. Yeah, it's a generator, big petrol generator. Well, I've got a friend coming round later today because we're going to take the petrol out because, yeah, it smells. I can smell it. So I've got a friend who's coming round in about 3 hours we're going to put the petrol in some cans so that we don't have to keep smelling it, because I mean I've got to clean it up obviously. There's a lot of work to do in it really, because there's quite a bit of rust on the bottom, paint flaking off everywhere. I mean the bottom is particularly bad, but that's fine. I mean the paint is coming off, look. So what I'm gonna do is oh, it's got good compression. It's got compression, by the way, so I've taken the pull cord off because the actual spring had come detached from the I've cleaned this up, by the way. Obviously it looks a bit cleaner. The spring had come detached off the hook that's on inside, and the reason for that is that the hook that the spring attaches to was bent slightly inwards, and every time you pulled on it, or the spring, you put tension on the spring, it would flip. The spring would just fly off, and you would lose tension. It wouldn't retract. So I sorted that out, and I also put some of my plastic homemade glue on there to hold the spring on, so we can actually, I don't know if I can show you this. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Put my foot on it. So, oops. Hang on. Just a minute. Trying to hold this. It's got tension on it now, obviously. Look. Anyway, it works now. There we go. It's got tension on it. It pulls back in. Anyway, I can't really show you properly. So, what's the point in buying a generator, a petrol generator? Well, the point is, I haven't really discussed this, but I wanted the power head, which is the this is really heavy. So the reason I've got to drain the petrol out of it, it's half full, right? The tank, right? That's every time I move it, it stinks. If I slosh it about, you'll see that gauge move up and down a bit. It's not doing it now. There you go, it moved it. It's half full, right? And it's heavy. If I drain the tank, then it'll be lighter to move around, and I can take it in the kitchen and wash the whole thing down because it wants a good clean, because it's got cobwebs and rust and all sorts on it. I want to get it good. Oh, it's got compression. I was just going to show you this. When I turn this, I can't turn it. Right, it moves slowly, then it goes. That's a compression stroke now. It's hard to turn there. Right, there we go. So it's got compression. That's a good sign. Obviously, it's not been. I haven't run it. Obviously, because I've just fixed that, and I've got to let that plastic glue, which I use, some homemade plastic glue, which is holding the spring on, just to make sure it doesn't slip off that peg, that little metal peg, because it's not really. So I'm going to wait for that glue to set for a few days. I don't want to risk pulling the pull cord, and besides that, I don't want to run this indoors anyway. So I checked the oil in the engine, and it's clean, it's clear. So the guy said he's hardly used it, and I forget what he said now. He said he hadn't used it for, was it 6 years or something, 7 years, I don't know. But it's been stood for a while. That's probably why it's got rusty, because it's been in his storage, whatever that was. Now I'll get my torch a minute. Find my torch. It wants I want to get some paint, really. I want to clean up the exhaust. It's actually it's a bit rusty as well. I want to get the exhaust off it and clean that and paint it with black exhaust paint. It's in a shroud, so it's protected, and it looks pretty clean actually, the carburetor. It looks pretty clean. I actually tested for water in the fuel, and there was a tiny bit of water. So what I did was, let me just move it a bit. It's hard. The paint's keep coming off as well. All the paint's coming off. So every time I move it, it makes a mess, and I've got to vacuum up or something. I can't move it. Hang on. It's heavy. That's why we get the petrol out, because I can't move it. Right. So, oh, my head. Bang my head. So I undid the carburetor drain plug, which is right there. This thing here. I undid that and put a plastic cup under it to drain a bit of the fuel out, just to check to see if there's water in the petrol tank, and a tiny bit of water came out of there. Just a tiny bit, but that's probably condensation, because you get condensation. Now there's the exhaust canopy, which covers up the exhaust. It's sort of protects against the you burning yourself or whatever. And you can see there's a bit of rust that one's cleaning off there. That makes it a bit rusty, but it looks in good shape. As I said, my main interest is the power head, because eventually what I want to do is I want to build up a really strong magnet motor. Oh my god, look at down there, I've got some more paint. Oh, I keep finding bits of paint everywhere every time I move this thing, so I've got to move it back again. So what I want to do is get it in the kitchen, then get the petrol out of it, because it stinks and it's heavy with it in, and more paint. Then I can turn it upside, well, I'll have to drain the oil out as well, I suppose. Drain the oil out of it, then I can turn the whole thing upside down, then I can wire brush the legs, clean it up. I mean, obviously I want it clean, because I don't want bits of rust and stuff sticking to my carpet. So the power head, let me move the camera around here. Hang on, go on the other side, it's on this side. That's, my torch is acting up. What's going on with this bloody thing? This is the generator part at this end, right? And apparently it's electronic ignition, but if I make a magnet motor to turn this thing, obviously it won't use electronic ignition, will it? It's a bit of a conversion job. So the power head looks in good shape. That's the main thing. It's a bit dusty, but clean that up. Obviously it's attached to the engine right now, and there's no reason for me to remove the engine or anything at the moment, because I certainly won't be doing that until I'm confident that instead of hamster power, I've got horsepower. Apparently this thing needs 6.5 horsepower. I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, it might be too big. I might be biting off more than I can chew with this, actually, but we don't know, dear. And this is the electronic control box in here. That's what electronics is, and it does 230, sorry, and 110 volts, and it's got a meter on it. Yeah, it's in pretty good shape. Not bad shape at all, really. It's just the paint that's making a mess. It's coming off everywhere. Being it's too big of its storage shed. So I'm trying to get up off the floor. It's not helping moving this stuff around, I tell you. So looking at the, sorry, I'm flipping cameras around here. So I'll give you a front view of the, I don't know what model it is, it doesn't say. I can't find a make or model number on it. Don't know where it'll say that. It might be, you know, I suspect that this has been built by a local company, possibly, such as Dale Electric. That's my guess. Probably Dale Electric, because they do a lot of stuff around here. They build a lot of stuff for coaches, and they also provide generators. It's probably a local firm that's built this. It doesn't really tell me much about it at all, the front. So I just wanted to show you that anyway. So we'll see anyway. So I'll probably do some videos later at some point when I'm cleaning this thing up. Hang on a minute. I've got my wires chargely tangled up. So yeah, anyway, I'll be glad when I get that freaking... I've had to leave my door open at the moment on the chain, because just to get rid of the... just so I can vent the flat, because I don't want the smell of petrol everywhere. So anyway, I hope that I can get that. A friend's going to bring around a 5-gallon container, petrol container, so we can siphon it all out and store it in the container instead of in the generator. Right, and then I won't have to put up with that smell. Alright, so that's it for now. Alright, see you later.